Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you. The Morning Majority, 630.
WMAL.
6:37 on the Morning Majority. General Dick Myers coming your way about 7:06 this morning.
Looking forward to that conversation.
We'll talk to him about what's going on in Afghanistan. We got Jake Tapper from ABC News, 7:36. Big resignation yesterday. Goolsby's out in the White House. We'll talk to him about that and more. Larry Kudlow on the economy at 8:36 here on the Morning Majority. Well, there was some other fireworks in town besides Anthony Weiner, even though it was happening up in New York City. It happened at City Hall yesterday, where Sulaimon Brown testified under oath. Freeman Klopot joins us now, City Hall reporter for the Washington Examiner. That was fun yesterday, huh, Freeman?
It was quite the show yesterday, I'll tell you what.
Tell me, first explain, what is Sulaimon Brown alleging? What does he say happened when it comes to Vincent Gray, the mayor of D.C.?
Well, his main accusation is twofold. First, that Sulaimon Brown was a mayoral candidate last summer, running in the race with Vince Gray and Adrian Fenty. He was a little-known candidate. And he claims that the Gray for Mayor campaign gave him cash-stuffed envelopes so that he could stay on the campaign trail and continue his attacks on Adrian Fenty. The other side of the fold on his accusation is that Gray also promised him a job for the same reason. At the end of the day, Sulaimon Brown got a job with the Vince Gray administration, paying $110,000.
Yeah, I mean, you have to ask a couple of questions here. Number one, why would you make up a story like that? How could you come up with a story like this? And secondly, the credibility of Sulaimon Brown. What is your judgment about how credible he is in these charges?
You know, my first reaction when he first leveled these accusations back in February was, okay, he's nuts. There's no reason to believe this guy. But as it's gone on and as more information has trickled out, and as he's become more specific in his accusations, it's starting to look like it's true.
Well, what was the reasoning behind the Gray administration on giving him the job in the first place? I mean, did he have the qualifications to have the job?
Yeah,
right. He's kind of on the border there, right?
I mean, what has Gray's explanation been to why this guy got that job for over $100,000?
They don't really have. They say that he was qualified and that they only promised him a job interview. They don't really explain it much farther than that. And you have witness after witness, people who played a role in the hiring process, who all say, well, we thought this guy was crazy, but we gave him a job anyway.
Well,
it doesn't really add up.
After seeing some of the theatrics involved here, like Sulaimon Brown wouldn't take his sunglasses off for this event. Apparently got into a row with almost everybody questioning him. Frankly, I think he might be the next mayor.
He could be. I mean, he's got a bigger name than anybody in the city right now. It's pretty impressive.
You know, this is a story that really matters. I mean, because if you just sort of take a step back and look at the bigger picture here, we got this thing with Sulaimon Brown, the allegations he's leveled against Vincent Gray. You got Kwame Brown, who there's a lot of Browns in this story. Kwame Brown, who was rebuked for purchasing a luxury SUV. You got Michael Brown, who got into trouble for failing to pay his city taxes. Marion Barry, where do we begin in the list of things that concern us about Marion Barry? Then you got Harry Thomas allegedly diverting funds to his personal use to the tune of $300,000. You know, when you see this much smoke, a lot of reporters might say there's got to be some fire in here somewhere. This is is the kinds of stories that have been leaking out of this city hall forever.
Yeah, and they continue to do so. I mean, like you said, just yesterday, Harry Thomas was sued by the city's attorney general for more than $1 million to try to get back that $300,000 he diverted to his personal use so that he could buy himself a brand new SUV, take trips to Las Vegas and Pebble Beach and play golf. You know, it's a little ridiculous.
Freeman, is there any? What I always wonder in these cases is, do the voters of D.C. ever actually punish anyone for these things? Because if they don't, then nothing comes of it. You can uncover and uncover and uncover, but if they're not rebuked in public, it kind of doesn't matter. Is there polling on this to show how people are reacting to it?
There's been some polling, it's a little bit old at this point, about 2 months old, on just what's happened to Gray and his standing after Sulaimon Brown came out with his accusations. And he did tank in the polls. He was down somewhere with Marion Barry on his approval rating after Barry was arrested for smoking crack.
Let me play a little back and forth between Brown and David Catania yesterday.
I'm going to put on the record because you are a witness in this case.
Mr. Brown, your delusions are limited.
No, you threatened a confirmation hearing.
Sir.
I have never been contacted by anyone in any law enforcement capacity as a witness. You have simply pulled this out of thin air. And so you can either answer the questions or not, Mr. Brown.
All right, so what's this beef with David Catania, and is there any truth to what he was alleging when it comes to Catania?
What Brown says is that Catania played a role in getting him fired. He says that the day before he was fired, Catania approached Brown's boss, and who was about to go in for a confirmation hearing, and told him, I'm going to be quizzing you on why Brown was hired, and you may want to think about that as you approach your confirmation hearing. And so Brown says that as a result of that, he was fired, and that Catania, therefore, should not be questioning him at all on anything because he's a witness and he's compromised in the entire situation.
All right, let me follow up on Mary Catherine's question, and because obviously there's all kinds of issues going on right now with the city government. How much trouble is Vince Gray in right now? I mean, could he actually lose his position as mayor? I mean, is it that deep of a problem for Vincent Gray?
It's hard to say how close. I mean, it comes very close to Vincent Gray. It's hard to say if he played a direct enough role in all of this to actually land in some trouble himself. It seems like some of the people around him would be in the most trouble. His campaign chairwoman, Lorraine Green, is certainly in the hot seat. The way Brown was kind of putting things yesterday, it sounds like, Gray was directly involved in these decisions. But then, how far do you extend Sulaimon Brown's credibility?
Right. All right. Good to have you on the show. Thanks for the updates, and have fun following this story. I'm sure you will.
I sure will.
Freeman Klopott, City Hall reporter, the Washington Examiner, here on WL.